mixed signals and emotional manipulation. The impact that impacts trust, carrying the load, manipulation, boundaries, and covert contracts, the emergency poop story, erectile dysfunction, mixed signals and emotional manipulation. Guys, welcome to the Morrow Marriage Podcast, guys. We say it like it is. Let's get into it. I like this title. Now, this is something you guys are searching for on the internet, and I want you to know that mixed signals and emotional manipulation, I think there's a lot of ways to look at this. First and foremost, there's mixed signals because you guys don't know what the fuck you're doing.
You're not connected, so that's why it's mixed. The message that's being conveyed isn't the message that's being received.
That's right. And when you say something, often it's like what the perception or the perspective is. So if you don't know the difference, perception is your whole world, your whole life, shaping your point of view. Your perspective is everything that's happening in the moment. Say all of a sudden one of you gets triggered, okay, really quickly. Maybe the perception started it, but perspective, you start to feel like you were being attacked, okay? And so you have mixed signals, okay? And then we have emotional manipulation, because a lot of the times people are literally trying to calculate what to say and how to do it. And sometimes it's not even like bad. I have so many guys that, you know, if I say, because we talked about identity in the last episode, I have so many guys that say, I don't want to be angry anymore. So I'm going to watch how I speak. And it looks like emotional manipulation, but they're looking at it wrong. They're using the wrong tools, because you don't just decide to not be angry when you're trying to figure out who you are. It just doesn't work that way. Even for me, who's like a switch flipper. You know what I mean? Like, so
it's part of it. You do need to make the decision,
sure,
but it's not, it doesn't just happen overnight.
Yeah, but then what, right? Like you have to, like, what are the steps you're going to take?
You can decide to get healthy, but then what? You can decide to not be angry, then what?
Now, I want to take this where this really gets good, okay? So, like, when a man or a woman comes to one of our programs, okay, and their partner is checked out, okay? I'll use a husband as an example, okay? And you know the old, well, why didn't you do this years ago? It's too little, too late. I don't believe
the husband is checked out?
No, well, his wife would be in this case.
Okay.
He's in my program.
Okay.
And so, you know, he's hearing all these things. Well, you listen to Cass, I've been telling you that for years.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So this is a man who's starting to show up, and he gets mixed signals from his wife. Okay. She might be, in this example, she might be, you know, going on dates with him and everything's going better. I'm thinking of a guy who's separated right now and doing really, really well in the program. They're having a lot of fun. Okay. And then all of a sudden she kind of dials back. She's not really responsive on text messages even. Okay. And then it'll pick up again. So we call that mixed signals. Guys always say to me, I'm so confused. Okay. Now,
I talked to the men about this too.
Yeah.
So it is confusing. It's confusing for you because you don't know which signals you can pour into, right? So she doesn't answer your text messages and you're like, oh my gosh, why isn't she answering? Yesterday she was hugging me and kissing me. It's like she's hot, she's cold. The reason that you're confused is because she's confused, or vice versa.
Yeah.
And you think your spouse is hot and cold because it's real. That's what's happening. And there's a pulling back. So in this example where the wife is like, why didn't you do this years ago? Cass is telling you to do it. Why didn't you do it? She wants it, but she's angry. And there's resentment there. So she's like, oh, this feels so good. This is so nice. Oh, wait, but he didn't do this for me. And so there's a back and forth and there's a confusion. She's like, is this real? Is this manipulation? The signals are probably getting mixed because they're hot and cold. They're back and forth. There's extreme polars on both sides.
Now, did you see what we talked about there? So in both cases, it can look like it's manipulation on either side. Okay. And how you perceive it is what you will do with it. That's why, like, the guys, they feel guilty about it as they learn about this manipulation stuff, especially the nice guy triangle. And the last question is like, should I text her? Right? Like, it's because you're so confused. So if you have to go back to the last episode and listen about identity, this is what takes away from that. Okay. Now, there is actual true designed emotional manipulation, I believe. I mean, we see it at least on the men's side, where women will act like they want something, act like they love so they can get something, okay?
That is manipulation.
That's manipulation for real. And we talk about it all the time in our programs, like, well, they can't have their cake and eat it too, okay? But you can't just hear me say that on the episode and then stop, say, paying the extra money for a car payment or something. You can't just change it like that.
Right.
You have to, otherwise now it looks like you're manipulating.
Right, which you are, actually.
Which you get, technically you are. You know, and what's the difference when I tell you to do it? Well, I have a lot of other things that I'm going to go with that. Okay, I'm going to learn more, first of all, to find out if it's the right time. First of all, what's fair, okay? Because money's easy. It's your state fucking laws, man, your provincial laws. You know what I'm saying? So then you can start to figure it out. But then, you know, how are you going to respond when your partner is like, what just happened? Why are you changing everything? When they get mad, when they don't understand. Like, there's so much more that goes into it. But it's true. At the end of the day, one of you can't have your cake and eat it too if you're going through this stuff, okay? But understanding most people aren't smart enough to manipulate. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that in you're probably giving your too much credit to your partner. Okay.
Right. It's not actually manipulation. It's mixed signals. It's confusion. It's hot and cold. You're in, you're out. You're probably not manipulating.
No, even to just think about it like this, it's a lack of skills.
How about this? So if you're listening to this right now and your partner has told you that you're manipulating them, you want to get defensive, right? Because you're like, I'm not manipulating you. This is the exact example. When you think your partner is manipulating, same thing. You can't get inside your partner's head. And so your partner's going to defend and be like, I'm not manipulating. But I want you to think of the times that you've been called manipulative and you haven't been manipulating. You would call me manipulative all the time. I wasn't manipulating. I was just confused, hot and cold. Like
just imagine it simply, guys. It's a lack of skills. Like until you really decide, okay, I want to learn what Cass and Kathryn are teaching. What'll happen is, let's say you listen to our podcast, any podcast, you read a book, you start to try things. You're not following an actual system. No matter, I mean, you just got to understand, nobody's put into their programs what we have, okay? And so you're trying things out, okay? And you have highs and lows where you're so excited, you want to do more, you feel something negative from your partner, let's say rejection of even a conversation and or a text, you know, or the big threats, if you text me I'll block you, and all of a sudden you know, you're like, well, what do I do, Cass? What do I do, Kathryn? I'm like, well, do you love your partner? You know, that guy that was like, should I hug her? She says she's just gonna fucking stop coming over if I hug her. And Kathryn's like, well, do you want a hugless marriage? Right? But see, there's more skills you need to learn before you just like, you know, come here, baby, and pull her over. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
So your highs and lows will get you excited to try things. That happens when people join the program. They get super excited, but it's in order for a reason. That's why when people like jump to the date section, like people are, I'm like, when you get in there, I'm like, go back to the beginning, man. You missed a bunch of stuff that comes first. You know, your response in how you decide to show up, learning, growing, and implementing. Because reading a fucking book or listening to a podcast, including ours, I mean, you heard me get
It doesn't help if you just consume.
No, it doesn't. It's implementation. It's actually failure. And then what you do with your failure. You fail forward. That's why it's so important to have accountability, not to do this on your own, because you need reality checks. So it's also because you will be perceived as manipulating when you're trying to grow, when you're trying to change, when you are, let's just forget all the bad shit. Let's just say other people in your life, not your marriage, your life, when you have a high level goal and they're like coming at you. No, that's stupid. You know, let's say you want to get a six pack and you're like, no, I'm not doing the beer, wings, and pizza thing. And they start to feel like angry,
you can
upset.
just have a couple of wings. You can just have one beer.
No. Oh yeah. They start to like.
That's how it starts.
That's how it starts.
And then when you say no.
You could call that manipulation, right? Because they want you to fail with them. That's how it works. This happens when you start a business. No. We need to get together, man. You just shut all of us out. I literally just had a conversation with somebody 2 weeks ago about that, where everybody in his life is coming after him because you shut us all out. No, man, this guy got fucking focused. He wants it all now. So he's removing people that are happy with a 9 to 5, that have shitty marriages, that are overweight, you know, that don't want to serve other people. Like when I talk about purpose, okay, that's good. That's good. Some of you will get left behind. Most of you will get left behind. I mean, for crying out loud, you guys still aren't listening to the podcast on the fucking weekend. Like, what in the world? Like, how many times do I have to tell you? If you want more, do more. If you want the extraordinary, be fucking extraordinary. That's it.
Amen.
That's it. Okay. So most of the time, the mixed signals you tell yourself, you gotta start manipulating yourself, man. Like that, literally, make the goals, follow through. What are the actionable steps? Okay, so that
I love that. Manipulate yourself.
Yeah, you do.
You come. Sometimes you speak, and I'm just like, where does that shit even come from?
I'm fucking brilliant.
Yes, you are.
Thank you, baby. All right, guys. I hope that you understand the importance of this. That if we can not look at our partner, and we can look at ourselves and what we have envisioned for ourselves, you are the only anchor in your life. And we're going to talk about it next couple episodes here about your partner and their growth and all that stuff. But Like for right now, I want you to realize this. Your job is to understand that if you can take care of what you're feeling, how you're responding, the goals that you have, the way that you look at your partner is totally different. That's not you, for fuck's sakes. So stop putting, your entitlement on them. Focus on the entitlement on yourself. Like I said, manipulate yourself. Whatever that looks like. Training yourself. Like this guy was talking about wanting to go for a walk. No, you can go for a walk. If that's your time to grow, that hour and a half is yours. You don't have to go with her. You don't have to invite her. You can, but I talked him through how he'd have that conversation. Okay, because it's going to hurt her. And she's not in a position where she's necessarily listening to high-level achievers. Okay, so that's okay. But he has to be patient with that. And he was totally cool. Okay, guys, you have anything else, baby?
Nothing.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.